It's wild sitting on this stage right now. It's probably the first place I think as a young adult, got used to being in front of people watching you. You know, I call it being extra live and vulnerable when you're playing shows. You know, but it's wild being on this stage again. So many butterflies that I felt here that were good. You know, yeah, it is wild. I moved to Nashville about 11 years ago. Graduated in '01, went to Temple College a couple years, moved up there, finished up school at Middle Tennessee State, and it's from just random relationships of meeting a publisher that gave me my first publishing deal to write songs for them, and then they saw that, hey, you could be an artist, so in which I moved up to Nashville to be a singer too. So it's wild how, you know, from this stage to the next stage, the stages of life, you know. But it's been wild. I 4 years ago signed a record deal with EMI Records Nashville, and 2 months after that, Jake Owen recorded a song called Barefoot Blue Jean Night, which went #1 kind of right around then, and then the next song called Even If It Breaks Your Heart with Eli Young Band went to the top, and then another song that I'd written with a band called Love and Theft called Angel Eyes went to the top, and that was while I was on my first radio tour. So the cool thing is I'm known as a songwriter first now, so it's kind of cool. For a while it was frustrating because they're playing all these other songs and they won't play my voice, you know. But this last February I had my first #1 with Friday Night as a singer.
I wanna be your Friday night, sweet bright summertime sunshine, barefoot in the moonlight. I wanna be your jackpot, hot spot, wide open road in a candy apple ragtop. I wanna sit.
And Lady Antebellum recorded that one first, so it's kind of wild how a lot of times it's not up to us. You just have to keep showing up and playing music or acting or whatever you're doing, swinging the bat, and it's kind of cool. You never know when it'll go over the fence. I think the biggest thing that I learned looking back is be you. You know, there's a lot of times you're afraid to be the uncool kid. And in this world, there's only good people and bad people. That's the way that I figure it. These are people you want to work with and people you don't want to work with. And if you're easy to work with, that's cool to me, you know. And I always try to do that. But the biggest thing, you know, I mean, from between sitting in my bedroom as a 15-year-old just across the tracks over there on North 15th Street to getting to play my guitar on this stage to moving to Nashville and no one understanding, what are you doing? Oh, you're working at Starbucks after you graduated college? What the heck are you up to? And it's just learning that. I think the biggest thing, the wealthiest person in the world will always wants more, and the person with the biggest house is still adding on. That's what I've kind of come to learn. And the most joyful people that I've met touring around the country and around the world is people that do what they love. And in any business, there's an up and there's a down. And I'm glad that I get to make music. So the biggest thing I would say to any student right now is, regardless of making money or paying off student loans and all this stuff that can clog up your dreams and kill them, don't let it, you know. Follow what your heart loves to do. And if you love whatever that is, the world will always find something wrong with somebody, you know. So regardless of whatever that dream is, you know, you don't have to make $1 bajillion. I haven't made $1 bajillion yet, you know, which that's not why we do it. And the biggest thing is doing what you love. And I'm thrilled to death we get to talk today about having some songs get on the radio. Yeah. I was a pretty good student. I think I made a B average probably. I definitely I fit in, but I wasn't like the coolest kid ever, you know. But it's which is cool with me, you know, and got to play baseball and did all the theater stuff, and it really is wild. It's cool to see how much has changed around here in a good way, you know. There's little pieces of the past always sitting around, but I was an okay student, you know. I remember during one of I think it was Grease or Bye Bye Birdie, there were a couple guys that decided to go crawling through the air conditioning ducts, and I'm glad they didn't die. Don't do that. You will die. I don't know how they're alive. But anyway, you know, I mean, it just the memories of you look back and thinking about all the times. I mean, I spent most of my time here, you know, building sets and learning lines, and it really is amazing. I think even the way that a lot of scripts are written, I mean, it's just the stories. That's what songs are. You know, I just have to fit them in 3 minutes, you know, as opposed to an hour and a half or a short. But it's it really is amazing that there was a plan being set up for a long time for me to somehow be able to be okay with being the weird guy writing a song, saying the uncool lines to get to the great ones, you know, not being afraid to say the uncool lines, you know. And that's the biggest thing with writing songs now, and getting to go out every night and play shows for people. This was one of the first stages that I held a guitar in front of a theater, you know, so it's pretty cool getting to look back at the seats.
I wanna be